Welcome to another edition of Cool Cars, Interesting People. Today, it's Ed Bailey. He has been involved with every Lethbridge Musical Theatre show since 1964, and he still looks like he's only about 29 years old. So we'll talk to Ed about his career in the theatre and what's coming up. Our cool car today, a 2016 Kia Optima. Let's bring in Jeremy Bridgewater. Jeremy, come on in. So what I realized, Kia isn't the company where you build furniture, right?
No, it's definitely not Kia. They're a little different than that.
IKEA, right? Okay.
Yes.
Got that. This unit here, first of all, I love the color, but 2016 unit that's got all the bells and whistles on it too. Tell us about it.
Yeah, absolutely. The 2016 Kia Optima, it was just redesigned. So they did lots of upgrades to the suspension. They reduced all the road noise, wind noise, all that sort of stuff. It's powered by a 2-liter turbo power plant. It gets about 275, 280 horsepower. So there's lots of power behind the wheel when you want it. For the features, it's got everything you could imagine. It's got heated seats in the front, heated seats in the back, heated steering wheel, air-conditioned seats. It's got an upgraded Harman Kardon radio system with a subwoofer in the back, external amplifier. It's got a wireless charging port for your phone. You don't even have to plug it in. You just got to set it down. Memory seating, full integrated voice-activated navigation system, dual-zone climate control, backup camera, big giant panoramic sunroof. Everything you could imagine is in this car.
So when I'm listening to show tunes on that stereo, it's going to be amazing.
Absolutely, yes.
Quick, your favorite Broadway musical?
Don't have one?
Let's go find Cats. There he goes. Let's go find Ed Bailey. Another opening, another show. Yul Brenner.
For goodness, Mark Campbell, is it?
It is indeed.
You're late, by the way.
I'm sorry about that. Yes,
I saw you got attacked by dogs out
I
there.
did. There was a couple of dogs there.
Yeah, it's the neighbors.
You want to go for a cup of coffee and talk about, why am I always talking in an English accent?
I don't know.
Whenever I talk?
You're always because you're silly.
I don't know. Do you want to get your coat?
Hold on, just wait a minute.
Go get your coat. We're going to go for a bit of a brew, or something like that. Come along. Say goodbye to your wife.
Yes, goodbye, wife.
It could be a while.
May never get back.
We have a 2016 Kia here.
I noticed that. It is sharp. Car,
yeah,
man.
Yeah.
Woo.
All right.
Very nice.
Come along.
Right. Thank you.
Dude. Allow me to open the door for you, sir.
Oh, thank you so much.
I know.
Yeah, this is very, isn't this right? Sharp.
It is, yeah.
Right?
And it's I think it's very presidential.
It is.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he in the back?
He might be.
Oop. Just about get in.
There we go.
There we go. Rough.
Oh yes, this knew where I was before, and it is programmed so that it tells me that I can do that. Never mind, it's
System
complicated.
check and all that.
Well, turn that off there, will you?
Jeez.
Come along.
AV off. Okay. Wind blowing in here.
Yeah, I haven't figured out how to fix that yet. Is your hair okay?
Yeah, you notice? Is it disarranged?
Was it a conscious decision to say
Yes.
I want to just shave it all off your hair?
because I had some patches of alopecia. You know what alopecia?
Oh, did you? Oh, really?
Yeah, it's baldness type of thing.
Really?
But,
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a little patch here and then a little bit over my ear, and people were saying, what kind of a haircut you got there?
So you said,
I said,
screw it.
Exactly. And I call it my Southern Alberta haircut, so I didn't have to worry about the wind anymore. And I wake up in the morning, and boy, do I look good.
Is it? It takes a fair bit of time to upkeep it, doesn't it? Just shave it
really.
or no?
No, I don't have to shave. It doesn't grow as quickly as it does on your face. Type of
Oh,
thing,
okay.
But
No alopecia on your face right now. It looks like
no.
It looks
But I did have just a patch here that half of my beard didn't grow for
Really?
a while, and then it came back again after a few months. Stupid corner here. I've talked to the city about putting a little sign like they've got there that says no parking within 15 feet of the corner, you know, so you can see around the corner. But they came and looked at it apparently, and they said, no, I don't think we need to do that.
Mr. Spearman, Ed Bailey said, get a sign.
Exactly. I go there. Mayor.
So you're a bit of a car guy, because you tell what did. Like was it a collection did you ever have, or no, you would
individual cars that I had when I was single. That was the big thing, because I had money to spend on things such as that, and I had an Austin Healey 3000 convertible, which was a great little car.
In Canada?
No, here. When I was working at the Yates.
Wow.
And then after that, I traded that for an XKE Jag, one of those classic ones with the long hoods on them, which was really a nice car. And then Linda and I got married, and I traded that and got a Volkswagen bus.
You traded Linda in for a bus?
For a bus, yeah. It was a pretty good exchange.
And then, what was the one?
And then I had an Austin Mini.
Austin Mini?
Yeah, it was a souped-up one for quite a while. And then I sold that, and then I got a Ferrari replica.
Replica?
Yeah. Way
cheaper than the real one.
Wow, I couldn't afford it. Couldn't afford the insurance on a real one.
Yeah.
And then you'd be worried all the time about someone running into you or whatever.
Was that fun to have that little?
Yeah, it was different,
Yeah.
But and I got to the point where I couldn't get in and out of it too well. My knees weren't working too good, so I sold it.
So what happens when a guy who's always into really cool cars and you get into the midlife time of life? What kind of a crisis can you have if you already got the cars?
I know exactly.
So what was the?
I don't know whether. I'm not sure how I resolved my crisis. But it wasn't with.
You shaved your head.
There you go.
That's what
I wondered. Look at that guy following the back of that, just driving up that tailpipe, that grey.
Oh dear, the West Side Hill.
Huh? Isn't that crazy?
It is, isn't it?
I don't know. There's times like that I wish I had a tank, so I could just swing around, with a big cannon and knock them off the road.
Yeah. This West Side Hill has had its issues, hasn't it?
It's silly. It really is.
You know what is the worst? I think one of the worst things about the hill, and I don't know how you ever could have foreseen it or how you ever fix it, is going into the sun
around 4:30 or whatever
in the wintertime. Yeah.
Oh,
it's actually
you're blind. You really are blind.
It is frightening.
And that's why that guy got killed here not too long ago.
That's right. Yes, it was. Yes.
Ran into the back of that tractor.
That's horrible.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Other than putting a big sunscreen up there or something, I don't know what they could do.
A big city visor.
Yeah, exactly. But they didn't anticipate it, did they?
I don't think they did.
Well, I'm sure they.
I don't. And of course, the traffic flow on this is just ridiculous. I mean, of course, when there's accidents on both bridges.
Oh, wow.
Wow, remember we had boy that.
And then even over there, it was shut down.
Yeah.
No,
we kind of sound like two whining old guys.
Don't we, eh?
Oh, for heaven's sake!
What's the matter with these people? Nobody ever listens to me anyway. Young whippersnappers.
Let's call it a Terry Bland show.
That's right. Terry Blame show. It's all their fault.
Of course, anybody watching this who's 30 years old saying, "What the hell's a Terry Bland?"
What's a Terry Bland?
Well, we'll leave it at that.
Sorry about that.
When did you're born in England?
Yes, I was.
When did you and why did you come to Canada?
Why did I came when I was 15 years of age with my family.
Oh, okay.
And the main reason for that was the fact that my father had been out here in Canada as a young man when he came out when he was 19, and he stayed for about 12 years, and then he went back to England.
Right.
And he got married and had a family with my daughter, my sister and myself.
Yeah.
And right from as far back as I can remember, we were coming to Canada. He had that.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he had that idea that he wanted to come back to Canada. And so finally, as I say, when I was about 15 years of age, they made the decision to come out. But actually, we were going to just come out for a couple of years to see what it was like,
Right.
So Dad had some businesses over there and some properties, so he didn't sell. He sold a couple of stores that he had, but the house was rented out and the other ones that he had. And ended up, we stayed here for about 12 years before we went back, and again
you went back?
with the intention of staying over there. But anyway, when we got there, we realized that that wasn't home anymore. You know, this was the place we needed to be. And the reason we came to Lethbridge was the fact that some friends of ours said that this was a really a good-sized city. It had all the amenities that you wanted, you know, good place to raise a family. And my father, when he was out here before, had been in Saskatchewan, so he wasn't that far away from this area.
Right.
And when we got to Lethbridge, found out that was true. It really was a nice place, you know.
I mean, was it just kind of a Lethbridge looks like a good enough place, or was there a reason for Lethbridge?
Yeah, other than that, just the fact recommendation from some friends that were aware of what it was like, and made Lethbridge my home ever since.
So, what kind of memories do you have back in England? Because you were there, we'd be there 15 years, so you kind of grew up.
Well,
much.
Yes. I mean, I have all my school days were there pretty well, and you know, I enjoyed. We've been back to England a number of times. You know, Linda and I and I went back on my own before I got married and stuff like that. And neat thing, the last 3 times we have gone to England, we stayed for a month each time, and we exchanged our house and our car with another couple in England. Which,
that's kind of
nice.
Well, that's on by theory that would be nice.
No, it was.
And it turned out to be good.
It was great. And I probably saved, I don't know, $8,000 or $10,000 on accommodation. And the use of a car, because as you know, it's very expensive over there. Couldn't afford to stay there for a month if hadn't have been doing it like that.
Because what's the price of petrol over there? I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
It is. It really is. And we were complaining about what it was like here. And we were paying probably twice as much over there. And then also, you know, as far as expenses are concerned, if you figure the pound, you've got to look at it as if when you spend £1, it's like us spending $1 here.
Right.
Except the pound, you know, it costs you twice as much to buy the pound.
Right.
So everything is kind of twice as much as it is here.
Yeah.
And you get into, you know, Europe, Paris, places like that, and it's that much more again.
Yeah. So do you still have some family in England?
I've got nieces and nephews, you know, that kind of a thing, cousins, but no immediate family. So when we go over, we do try to visit with some of them, you know, but we haven't really got any real close relationships with them.
So what sort of thoughts do you have of England now? Just sort of, that was a fun place to grow up, don't want to ever live there again, or?
Couldn't afford to live there for one thing, but I enjoy it. And Linda, my wife, if I say to her, "You want to go to England?" she said, "When, like now or tomorrow?" You know, because she said that when the first time she went to, you're not going to make it, lady. Come on out.
Shall I honk my horn at her?
Okay, I'll honk her. She's being very good. She's backing
up.
I
see what you're doing.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're doing.
Yeah, good.
You shouldn't. There we go. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right. There we go.
But anyway, yes, England is a great place to visit, but like I say, I don't know that I'd want to live there anymore.
Right.
It's changed, and it's changed a lot, same as every place has changed.
All right, we'll turn that off there, then we'll go back, have a cup of cover, have a whatever you want.
Okie dokie.
In the Earls we go.
Right
Come on.
Goodbye.
Hey, okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Oh, Garrett Kong.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know you were bilingual.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
We had this pre-arranged.
Oh, do you?
So you know. Yeah.
Oh,
he didn't really know that.
It's not spontaneous.
Cheers, then. There we go.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Hey.
There. Good. So we got you to. You're in Canada now.
Oh yeah, you were talking.
So
that's right. Carry on from there.
You're in Canada. What got you into this whole theater thing? How did that all get started?
Funnily enough, I did one show in school in England. I was a spear carrier type of thing, and I didn't have any words at all. And I stood still for about 2.5 hours. That was a real accomplishment. Didn't say anything. And I came out here, and I didn't do anything for probably 3 or 4 years, and then an acquaintance, a woman, she was going out to Coaldale Little Theatre to attend this class in Shakespearean acting
Really?
that Murray Robinson was putting on.
Yeah.
And for young people watching this, they have no idea who I'm speaking about, but he was a real pioneer as far as community theatre was concerned in this area. And anyway, we went out there, and I had an opportunity to play some scenes from Macbeth.
Oh.
Well, I'd never done anything but I found it interesting. And the one thing about it was the woman I was playing opposite, at one point we had to kiss. You know? And yeah, exactly. And she planted one on me, and I tell you, after that I couldn't move. My feet were stuck to the ground. I forgot my lines and everything else. But after it was all over, I thought to myself, well, this is not so bad after all, you know. And then Murray invited me to come out and be involved in a couple of shows with Sandy McCallum and Bill Matheson. And,
oh, wow,
you know, and,
those are, again, names from the past.
Exactly, exactly. And that's where I started. And then I got involved with Playgoers of Lethbridge and Lethbridge Musical Theatre. And then had an opportunity to assume my role at the Yates when it was first built in 1967.
Right.
I was taken on as the head technician, the only technician.
Yeah.
You know, at that time, and Dick Mells was the administrator.
Right.
And we worked together for a few years, and then he went off to Fort McMurray, and I took over as the administrator there, and was there for over 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it still amazes me that you have been involved with every musical theatre production since 1964.
Yeah,
64, right?
64.
Capitol Theatre.
Finian's Rainbow was the first one, and again. Yeah.
I mean, there's people that don't make all of the rehearsals in a given year, let alone
I know what you're saying. No.
Let alone every show. Wow.
Yeah. And all different aspects of it too, you know.
What is it about theatre that you've decided this is I just want to keep getting involved? Why?
I don't know. Certainly there's a certain magic to it, but it's the relationships that you form within that. You know, when you're involved in a show, you're rehearsing for 2 months at a time, and you see the same people over and over again. And for the most part, the people that are involved are there because they love to do it. And nobody's forced to be there. And it's not because of getting paid or anything, because nobody does get paid, as far as that is concerned. But,
although I do remember in the early days of LMT, they would bring in a couple of pros,
right?
Especially like Showboat, for example, when they had the one black guy in Lethbridge.
Yeah,
you needed more than one.
Well, that's right. So they brought in Robert McFerrin,
right,
who was the first black man to perform at Carnegie Hall.
Yeah. And the Yates.
Yeah, exactly. And also a quartet of black men.
Yeah.
And another woman from Winnipeg. So there was, 5 or 6 that we brought in that time. Doug Crosley was another one we brought in for Showboat Oklahoma years ago. Again, a blast from the past. A lot of people don't know who Doug Crosley is anymore, I'm sure. But he was really a well-known Canadian singer, pop singer.
And so you would you would have a budget to bring in these professionals. You have to.
We did at that time. Yeah. And then you can't really afford it anymore. But then, of course, everything else has gone up. Like the royalties, for instance, they just skyrocketed.
Well, which brings us to last year, unfortunately,
well, it was almost over like a 3-year period there where the expenses have gone up. Peter Pan, it cost us $22,000 for the royalties alone.
Yeah.
You know, and for people that don't know what that means, the royalties, it means that you rent the music and the play from playwrights. You know, and in order to do that for a 2-week period. You don't own anything; you're just renting the material.
So that eats up any profit.
And that was American too. So killer.
Yeah.
So it's right away you're looking at that. It costs us close to $80,000 to $90,000 to mount a production, and you're dependent upon recouping that with the people that come to see the show.
Right.
And over the last, let's just say, 3 years, the attendance hasn't been as good as it has been. A lot of other things out there that are competing too. We are competing.
Is that a theory that you have? I mean,
that's part of it. Yeah. Part of it. I think part of it too is perhaps we should be cutting back on the length of the run. We've been doing 12 nights a week, which is probably too long.
And that adds to the royalties too.
The longer you do everything. Yeah. I mean, there's certainly some fixed expenses that you're not going to be able to change too much, but overall, if it's
and I think about everyone's lifestyle these days compared to I know back when you, and again we're talking about people of the past, like I think of Gene Warburton and people like that. They lived for that period of time. Holidays were taken. So everything was, they said this is where we're going to spend our time, because it was a big, huge social thing. Nowadays, you got young kids or students, or they've got this, they've got that, they've got hockey, they've got football, like whatever, and a lot of times they'll say, I just don't have the commitment or the time to. I mean, because it's a full 3-month commitment to do any show.
As you know,
yeah,
for sure.
Maybe 4 months, and depending on how big your role is or whatever. Well, even if it's a small role, you still have to be at all of the rehearsals. Exactly. So, and then you do the 2-week run, and that takes up a lot of your time. So, I can see where that's where the commitment isn't as it once was. I guess.
No. Yeah. And as you said, there's a lot more demands on people's times now, and we don't have the volunteers, for instance, that we used to have.
Sure. Well, let's talk about the good times.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I know I was involved with a lot of shows at the years, but I just the after show parties were just legendary down in the green room.
Exactly.
And again, it was a big, huge social thing, and it was just a fun period of life.
It was, and we don't find that any longer.
Yeah.
I mean, with the younger people, certainly they like to party a little bit, but as you say, we used to go down to the Yates in the green room there, and after the show and sing all the songs we knew, from previous musicals. We'd go down there now, and the kids don't know anything about South Pacific or Oklahoma. They don't recognize any of those tunes or even the shows.
Sure.
So it is quite different.
And then the next thing you know, it's 2:00 in the morning, and you still have to go to work.
2 o'clock. That was an early night. Early morning.
What's can you think of a couple of real big moments, great personalities that I know like Showboat, those guys. Apparently, he was quite a personality.
He was.
Yeah.
Quite a personality for sure. Yeah, no, but I often think of Wes Stefan as being a consummate actor, and the work that he did for us, on stage as The King and I, and
and did a lot of directing as well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and it was quite tragic with his demise, but no, he was a real asset to the whole organization there and to the community as well, for sure.
How big of a transition was it to go from the old Capitol Theatre to the Yates? It must have been a godsend to go to the Yates.
It was marvelous. With the Capitol Theatre, there was no wing space, period. You went off out of sight of the audience, and you had about 2 feet. Yeah. Muriel Jolliffe, who played the part of Mammy Yoakum, or Pappy Yoakum, I should say. Yeah. She did a dance number where she would dive off into the wings, and we had 3 guys standing there ready to catch her. Otherwise, she'd end up on the brick wall.
Speaking of characters, Muriel Jolliffe was a character. Yeah, she could make you cry.
That's bloody Get your bodies in a bloody circle and stuff like that. She talked about being out of Vancouver with a workshop where she was teaching some of these young Hungarian dancers how to do things, and she got so frustrated with them because they were so cocky. Yeah. She said, I want you to go home tonight, she said, and look up the word humidity. And they said, what? She said, look up the word humility. Oh, okay. So they did. They came back and she said, okay, so what did you find out about being humble, humility? And then one guy says, well, it means an amount of moisture in the air. I think that drove her crazy too.
Yeah, that's right. And of course, there's Dick Mells as well. He directed many shows, and he was. I did a lot of shows. My first productions were with Dick, and it was just a great experience. The whole theater thing is such a great experience. I found.
Yeah. No, he was of course instrumental in really getting it going in town here. Previously, he'd been in Medicine Hat and got it started down there as well.
Sure.
But no. If it hadn't been for him, we wouldn't have had musical theatre in town.
Yeah, because I also remember he used to do summer shows for kids, the Allied Arts Council.
That's right.
Which gave me an opportunity to get on the stage as well.
Him and Joan Waterfield, of course. Yeah. She was instrumental in some of those as well.
Yeah. So just some great names in the past. It just really is, You think? What do you think it is? The state of the theatre is in town right now. I mean, you've got different factions and everything.
Yes.
Is the interest still there? Do you think like theater goers still want to see shows? Where do you think we're at right now?
I think we're suffering to a degree, and I know that I read that New York, same way as far as live shows are down there, that they're not getting the response that they used to get because there's so much competition now, with television, instant gratification. There, things we see on television that ordinarily we would never have the opportunity to see. Headliners. You used to have to maybe go down to Vegas or something like that to see these people, but now it's right there in front of you, day in, day out. And I don't know whether people expect a lot more from live theatre because they've seen all the professionals doing it. That could be part of it. And then again, like we said before, the demands of the time on the people.
You were one of the few people to walk on the Yates stage and say a dirty word. Am I right? Do I recall that? Well, you, Ed Bailey, saying, was it not the F word? I think it was.
It was a show that the Fran Rude directed.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
What? How? A, when you saw that you had to say it, how did you react? And B, how did the audience react when you said it?
Well, it wasn't like gratuitous type swearing, which a lot of it is nowadays. I see some of these things and I think, what the hell, you can't you give them a dictionary so they can use a different word or something, But at that time, it was a natural thing for this native to say because his daughter was being threatened by this other fellow, and I was comfortable with it.
Yeah. Oh, good.
I mean, there's times when I wouldn't be. I just attended a one-act play festival, and boy, this one play that was presented with these two women. There's certain swear words in there that I don't think I'd ever heard before, but it just went on and on and on. It was just way too much. Over
to be on.
Yeah, it really was. And it's unfortunate it has to be like that. And same when you go into movies now, you never know until you get in there just exactly what you're going to be faced with.
But I mean, you wouldn't consider yourself a prude either, though,
no,
right?
I'm not.
Yeah, it's just sometimes
it's unnecessary. And it doesn't advance the story or anything, just for effect.
Yeah. I mean, I think of some of the best comedians that there's ever been. Very rarely have to swear about it, and they're as funny as anybody.
I watch the Dean Martin roasts on TV. No, I really do, and I really enjoy them all. And they've got all those main, top comedians that come on. None of them swear at anybody, and yet they try to redo like a roast type of a thing. And I watched one of those, or part of one of those episodes, and it was just sickened me. And the women were the worst. No, as far as swearing was.
And they're so mean too.
They are.
Like back in the Dean Martin days, I mean, it was gentle roasting, but man, some of these guys are they're brutal.
They are. They really are.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And you, of course, involved with Playgoers. You did a lot of Playgoers. I mean, the oldest running theater company in Canada, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty.
78 years or something like that. It's been.
That's phenomenal.
It's crazy. I haven't done all of their shows.
No.
Although I could have done if I started.
The first couple.
I could have done if I started at 1.
So that's going well. I mean, there is some great stuff that still goes on in the theater, and there's some great shows at the university that are going on. And Hackrick's Theater's got some stuff. And it's nice. It's nice that people still have the interest to put on a show. Because it is meaningful. For me anyway. I just think it's.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you for sure.
Yeah.
No, we're still going, and hopefully we still will until the cart us off, or whatever.
Nonsense. That's what you're doing. You're directing Nonsense. It's coming up in May. So talk about that's a funny show. Great songs, great cast, and it's a small cast, so you can get them all together.
Just 5 nuns. That's all. And and as I mentioned to you, our Mother Superior, she told me yesterday. She said, "Well, I won't see you for a week." I said, "Oh, come. I'm going to Rome." I said, "What? You're going to see the Pope or something?" It turns out she's going to be a chaperone for some school children going over there. So
that's nice.
And she's been very, very good in as much as learning her lines and her songs. She's worked hard at it. So I couldn't say you can't go. Anyway, but no, it's a good cast. Everyone working well together, and as you said, we're going to be doing it in the Sterndale Theatre, which is a smaller venue. It seats 180 people in there, but it's suitable for this play because we sort of break down that fourth wall. Where ordinarily you isolate yourself from the audience and you play in that way, but this way the nuns are right in there. They're up with the audience. They bring them right into the action and everything like that. And so it's,
and give us the premise of the show again. Somebody
well,
dies, right?
There's somebody. Yeah. This order, their cook is called Sister Julia Child, and she makes this soup, and it turns out it's poisoned. So all but 19 of the order of nuns are poisoned, and so the Mother Superior has to find enough money to bury them, which she's able to do except for 4 of the nuns, because she chose to use some of the money she had put aside for this burial to buy a TV set. So they've had to put these 4 nuns into the freezer until they can make enough money off of this concert that they're presenting in order to pay for their burial type of thing. And and they're playing in front of a high school production of, in fact, the Mother Superior explained, she said, you might think it's a bit strange, the setting here, but it's the school has allowed us to play in front of us, and the school, they're doing Vaseline. and one of the other ones goes and whispers in her ear, and she says, Grease. Mother Superior says, where? She says, no. She said, they're doing Grease, that's the name of the show. Oh, who knew?
When does that show run?
It runs the 4th, 5th, and 6th, which is the Thursday, Friday, Saturday of May.
Yep.
And then the next week, the same times again, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 8 o'clock.
Very good.
Tickets available.
Tickets now. Go
yeah,
buy.
go get them.
Go bloody well get them, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
How's my accent? Is it pretty bad? Is it bad?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh dear. All right, here, let me throw this one at you. Tough question.
Oh, no.
Of all of the musicals that Lethbridge Musical Theatre's done, give me the rank number 1. Can you do that? I know that's hard.
I have a. People ask me that all the time, and I really have a difficult time there, because each one brings something different, you know. And there's some that was the main character that was the main you know, attraction there, or
is there an overall?
Everything came together so well, you know. And there's a number of shows I could name off that I thought were great. Yeah. The King and I, Fiddler on the Roof, Man of La Mancha, you know, all classic shows.
Yeah.
So no, I always like to say, well, it's the next one, you know.
And what about a playgoer? Is there a playgoer show? Same, probably the same question. Same answer.
On Golden Pond, I think is probably one that really stands out to me.
Nice.
That was very, very well done. That was George Mann.
Right.
And
old Poop.
Yeah, exactly. And Kay Robinson.
Oh, nice.
Who played his wife and that, you know. No, and they did a marvelous job on that. The setting was really well done. And just the whole play worked very, very well.
Okay.
But you know, they've done how many plays?
4 or 5.
Yeah, or 6. Probably on the main stage, and then also their dinner theatre. That'll be the next thing that's coming up in October.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Great. Final thoughts about theatre, life, Lethbridge, Ed Bailey.
I think we're so fortunate to be living in a centre of this size, for one thing. You know, the fact that you want to get from A to B 10 minutes or something like that, and none of this traffic problem. And also, I think as far as the quality of life is concerned in a small community like this, it works for us.
Yep.
I was telling you earlier on that someone recommended this place a great place to raise a family, and I feel that's true.
Yeah.
You know, we've always enjoyed it and still do. Have all the amenities that we need.
Right.
You know, with the university, college, et cetera, et cetera. And no, I think it's really good. I'm pleased to have been here for over 60 years.
Right.
You know.
Good.
Still have my ties in England, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Governor, thank you so much. Have a good one. Cheers.
Pleasure. Thanks very
Thank
much.
you.